And good morning. Good morning. We're here at Hatha Yoga. So we're going to be working with Hatha Yoga today, neck and shoulders. And so let's find a position where we're in fish today. So we're going to take our two blocks and you're going to place them where you have one pillow and then you have one for your neck. So decide what size or what height that you'd like them to be on. And come to a position that feels very comfortable to you. We're going to be here for a nice length of time. So coming down and propping your head up, perhaps even starting at a high level here for the block, for the pillow, arms extended out to the sides. And just check in. They're in fish pose. Feeling the way the blocks feel underneath your body. Feeling the way you feel in the knees. You could take the knees to bend and lean them towards each other, walking your feet out wide, if that feels nice. If it feels okay on your lower back, you could extend the legs out straight. Just finding a position there in fish pose where you feel really held. It's about 60% of our lungs can breathe in the back body. So as you're feeling this deep breathing that maybe is starting to kick on for you, can you feel yourself breathing into the blocks? Can you feel yourself breathing down into the mat? Again, the knees might be leaning towards each other. What's going on? What are you noticing? We're beginning our session today in fish pose as we welcome ourselves to the mat. As you bring your attention to the way the body is breathing, the way the body is being breathed, do you notice any symmetry between the left and the right lungs? Do you feel like one lung is taking more breath than the other? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. And perhaps you're noticing that flickering mind is jumping all over the place. Just notice it. You don't have to get swept away or caught up. Just keep bringing the mind's attention back to the way the body is being breathed and the way the body feels cascading over these blocks. Deep, deep, deep breaths. Now start to stretch them out. See if you can make the ribs close to the armpits spread apart on the inhale. So right below those armpits, the top of the rib cage, see if you can spread the ribs out. And exhale, feel yourself giving yourself a big old hug. Just staying up there at the upper ribs, just breathing in, expanding the ribs side to side on the inhale. And then on the exhale, imagine yourself just coming in and giving yourself a big hug. Start to turn the breath to the lower ribs now. See if you can expand the waist out to the sides on the inhale. Big, big inhale. Exhale, hugging in. Just letting your body take in this breath. Again, noticing maybe that one of your lungs is dominating. Can you bring it more into the left lung? Typically is smaller, so maybe it's the left lung that's not receiving as much. Maybe it feels pretty balanced to you already. And now let yourself just relax. Let the breathing go into normal breaths. Maybe they're a little deeper than when we started. And asking yourself, what is it that you need today? What do you need from your session today? What do you need from these tools? Creating a mantra, one or two word phrase that will help you stay anchored and focused in this moment that you're in. Whenever it is that you feel that you have your mantra, whatever that is, perhaps you'll turn the pillow block down or even maybe remove it so that your head is hanging. Does that feel nauseous to you? Does it feel good? If it doesn't feel relaxing or comfortable, then that's not for you. But we're here for another 5 or 6 breaths, just allowing our neck stem and our shoulders and our chest to open. Just keep reminding ourselves of this mantra, this promise. When it's time, whenever that is, we're going to gently roll off of your props, using with mindfulness, being very careful the way you move. We're going to come to our backs now, completely onto our backs. So you're going to take your block on your sacrum, underneath that very lowest part of your back, below your waist, and prop yourself up onto bridge. You can pick which level of block you have. We have the lowest level, medium, and then high. Decide what feels right for you today. And going back to the idea that you're breathing into your back, into the lungs in the back side. See if you can press the breath into the mat. Anything goes with the arms. You could take the arms up by the ears. You could keep them in a T position. Some of you may want to reach for the ankles or the heels. Do you feel that you're evenly dispersing the weight on the left and the right shoulder blade? Do they feel like they're flat and tucked in away from the ears? Is there a natural curve to your neck? Could you touch the back of your neck and feel space between the cervical spine and the mat? Looking straight to the ceiling. We're here for about 3 more breaths. Moving those ribs. Where there are ribs, there are lungs. Breathing into those ribs. One more deep breath. Very nice. We're going to slide our hands now underneath our head, interlace our fingers. Start to plug in from the pubic bone to the navel, really anchor that lower belly. And we're going to bring our right knee into the chest and the left leg extending out. This feels too intense for your back. You can always take a leg up more to the ceiling. So you decide what's right for you. When you're ready, we're going to go for just a little bit of a bicycle ride. Pedaling out, 20, 19, 18. Again, if this is too challenging for you, feel free to take it more towards the sky. Even deeper still, you could lift the head and shoulders up, but challenging yourself to keep the head very, very heavy so that the weight of the head is being held by the strength of those arms. 3, deep breaths, and 2, and gently bringing your feet down, and pause. Back to bridge, arms out to the sides. You're still on your yoga block. And come back to that mantra. Beautiful. Pushing your feet to the floor, pick your hips up, get that block out of your way. Come all the way down to your back now. And we're going to do the same thing without the block. Hands underneath your head, left knee on the chest. Calm breaths. Here we go. And 20. Elbows reaching the sides of the room, but the fingers are moving together. Long exhale. 9, 8, plug it in. 5, plug it in. 3, 2, pause. Take the hands out to the sides again and just roll your head side to side. Remembering your mantra. Last round. Elbows are spreading apart, but those fingers are pressing together. Here we go. Last round. Bicycle ride. It's uphill, so it's hard to push those pedals. 20, 19. Breathing nice and calm. That mind chatter is flickering. Just keep anchoring it down. And 10, 9. Zipping it up. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and to the floor. And we'll just windshield wiper our knees side to side, taking your arms wherever you want to. Out to the sides, behind the head, down by your hip, whatever you need as you windshield wiper side to side to side. Beautiful. All right, roll it over now to your right side, and we're going to take our right elbow directly underneath our shoulder. We want to double check that it's very aligned. When we get those bones to do the work, it's a lot easier. So our elbows here, and we've got our side really pressing down. fire up those mountain legs. Nice and strong legs, inner thighs are rolling, and we're squeezing those legs together, really turning on the adductor muscles, really anchoring that mountain body. Now take your head in line with the spine. We're going to lift out of the elbow and then shrug, and then out and then shrug, feeling those intercostal muscles really spreading out as you shrug. 3 and 2, just plugging in. And now hold it up, really try to lift those ribs off the mat. Take your left arm up to the sky, plug it in, and then exhale, thread underneath the armpit, try to reach behind you, and then coming up again. Feel that shoulder blade moving to the spine, and then threading through, moving shoulder blade away from the spine. And 3, get those bones aligned. Breathe. 2. And exhale, reaching. Come back to neutral. Take your left leg. Some of you can grab the toes. Some of you not so much. You can grab the backs of the thighs. Vishnu on the couch. Try to sit up nice and tall. Remember, your head is a part of your spine. So you're trying to challenge yourself to hold that head in line with your spine. If we were to stand up here, we'd be more in like a triangle pose. It's okay if the knee is bent. And pick up out of those right ribs. Smile, breathe. Get those bones lined up. 3 and 2. Beautiful. Slowly lower that leg down and bend the knees and come to sit up now on your right hip. So Bharad's twist, sitting up nice and tall. Taking your left hand to the left knee, right knee. Inhale, big inhale. Exhale, start to rotate the ribs away from the legs. A little bit of a twist here. We're sitting on our right hip and we're ringing around to the right side. You can play with turning the head forward and back. We really want the twist from middle body more than neck. Sometimes we turn the head and we think that's the twist, but it's really middle spine that we're trying to encourage that deep movement. One more deep breath. Beautiful. And come back to center. Let's flip it over now. Let's come down to our left side. Same thing, second side. We're going to take our left elbow now right underneath the shoulder, double checking that that alignment is right on. You're pressing that inner wrist down the thumb side of the hand, and we're going to shrug and lift and shrug and lift. Some of us want to roll that palm up, keep that thumb plugged in and lift. Remember, the spine is up to the roof of your mouth, so the way you track that head is key here. Spine is long. One more. Good. Now float it up. Lift those left intercostals, left ribs up, holding it there. And we'll take our right arm up. Exhale, thread it through, feeling that twist, touch the back of your mat. And inhale, reach shoulder towards spine. And exhale, away. Keeping the bones lined up. Feels so good to move this body. Open up the physical body, open up the breath body, and then your spirit opens up and you feel light, spacious, and free. One more round here. Good. And coming into that nice long line here, lifting up. We're going to take our other leg up, right leg up, and Vishnu on the couch. Finding length here. And we'll hold for 5 deep breaths, plugging in that thumb. Smile. It's okay if the knee is bent. You got to use strong abdominals here to hold you on that side. If you're tipping over, that's okay. Just keep anchoring that belly. 3, and 2, and beautiful. Float that leg down, bend those knees. We're going to come into broad's twist again, sitting up on that left side, and we're going to twist around. Right hand to left knee, and wring yourself out. 5 big breaths. Playing around with turning your head forward and back, forward and back. Just really noticing what part feels really open today, what part feels maybe a little congested, and bring some loving breaths in that area. 3, and 2, and very nice. Come back to center. Let's turn now and come into hands and knees. Finding fingers spreading equally between each and every finger. And let's take the hands maybe a little wider than you typically do. We want to have a nice open chest here. So not so crunched, but nice and open. Hands and knees, tabletop. Start to articulate your spine, moving. How are you? How are you feeling? How's your mantra settling in for you today? Just take this time to really welcome yourself here. About 5 more breaths. What part feels free? What part feels a little bit not accessible as easily? And when it's time for you to push through those thumb sides of the hand, go ahead and take yourself up to downward dog. But this time we're going to bring our feet together. Again, turning on those adductor muscles, really squeezing those legs together. Not so much that you're extending or hyperextension in the knees. If you need to bend the knees slightly, feel free to do that, but really squeezing them in. Now, as you squeeze those legs in, can you drop the crown of the head? Squeeze those legs together. One more big Ujjayi breath. And exhale. Beautiful. Come on down to hands and knees and pause. Nice. We're going to do similar but different. So instead of being in tabletop now, we're going to walk the knees back. So we are what they would call Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog, but our knees are going to be down. We want to have the wrists right underneath those shoulders again. And today we're having our hands a little bit more open so that our chest is really free. Our knees and our ankles are together. Okay, so think about this beautiful skeleton that you have. Squeeze those legs together, really squeeze it. This is very dynamic. And just bend the elbows slightly, touch ribs, and then straighten. And do it again. Squeeze the legs together, bend those elbows, and straighten. 3 more times. Squeeze and straighten. Squeeze and straighten. And squeeze and straighten. Beautiful. Take your knees wide and child's pose. Breathe into the back lungs. Remembering the mat is like a full-length mirror. It moves us apart. We find ourselves saying too hard. I want to do it. Like something in the room. Right now. It's wonderful practicing, practicing mental, emotional, and physical alignment, and bring yourself back here. Okay? Going a little bit further now, we're going to take 2 blocks. One of them is going to go at the top of our thighs, and one of them is going to go right below the breast on the ribs. Okay, so let's go low level. One is going to go at the top of the thighs, and one is going to go on the rib cage, right below the breasts. Take your hands right underneath your shoulders. Now, some people teach it where we want to keep in a 90-degree angle. I don't teach it that way because it's not, I don't believe, for everybody. So find a position where you have the hands that are right where you need to be pressing up. You don't want to overdo it on the wrists. And depending upon how long your arms are and how long your torso is, would be dependent on where these hands would actually go. Now bring your feet together and your thighs together, hands directly underneath the shoulders or slightly back a little bit. Figure out where that feels best for you. Squeeze those legs together, pressing through the thumb side of the hand. Now imagine that you're bringing your toes towards your face, but your heels to the wall behind you. So we're in a prep of plank or chaturanga. Squeezing those legs together, bringing the toes towards your face and the heels to the wall behind you. Imagine you're trying to pull yourself forward. 5 more breaths. It's challenging to breathe here, so you have to really breathe into the backside. 3. Hugging in. 2. And beautiful. Pressing down. Push yourself back and sit back on your ankles or go to child's pose. A lot of heat there. Looks really easy. Good. Okay. Going a little bit further. Taking your strap. Shoulder distance apart, roughly armpit to armpit. We're going to take the buckle. We don't want the buckle near us, so we'll put it in the middle. And we're going to put the strap right above those elbows. Double check that it's right above those elbows. Okay. All right, here we go. We're going to go back into hands and knees. There's no blocks this time. Bringing your knees and ankles together. This pulling those legs together is really giving that skeleton a little boost. Taking your ribs to that strap, bend those elbows, hug them in, and have a little harness here where you're just hanging, and play with the idea that you're squeezing those legs together. Some folks might want to bring your knees up. It's okay to bring those knees down, but you're really feeling toes moving to the face, heels moving away, and the longest spine you have as you're hanging in that hammock. Really pressing through the thumb side of the hand. 5 deep breaths. You need the knees down, keep them down. 3 and 2 and pause. Just pause, whether that's child's pose or sitting on your ankles. Good. 2 more big breaths, just checking in how you're feeling. And let's wash it away, taking yourself off, no strap, no blocks, downward facing dog, feet together. You can bend the knees if you need to and just feel that length happening here. Downward facing dog. Squeeze those legs together. Really feel those legs squeezing as you're dropping the crown of the head. Trying to seek ease. Remember, asana or asana means comfortable seat. We're seeking to be comfortable, even in the work, especially in the work. 2 more big breaths.
Okay, let's take a plank pose. Here we go. Step it back into push-up position. You can bring your knees down if you want to, holding here in push-up position. This is some of the best abdominal work you can do. Let's hold for 10, 9, 8, squeeze, 4, 3, 2, hug your belly in, tuck your tailbone, and go to downward dog. We want to establish that core action. Here we go again, swiveling into a push-up position. You can bring the knees down if you need to. Hold it in. Pull those bellies in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Pushing through the thumb. 4. Tuck your tailbone between your legs and back down to downward dog. Keep those legs together. We're going to go through a chaturanga this time. Here we go. Push-up position. 10, 9, 8, hold it in. 5, squeeze those legs together, knees down if you need to, and slowly, slowly, slowly lower down. Take your legs behind you, point the toes back, hug those knees in. Inhale, lift up the heart, Cobra, Bhujangasana. Imagine you're trying to slide yourself forward. And exhale, curl your toes under, move the toes towards your face, heels away, and downward dog. One more deep breath. Beautiful. Bringing your knees down, knees down, knees down. And child's pose. You can choose to keep your arms forward or take them down by your ankles and just rest. Deep breaths, about 5 big breaths. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. Last time. Here we go. Hands and knees. Hands are a little bit wider than typical, but the legs are together today. Curl your toes under and downward facing dog. Moving into a push-up position, holding 10, 9, hug the belly in. Use those bones. 4, 3, try to bring your heart and your forehead down at the same time. Here we go. Grazing those ribs. Squeeze those legs. Inhale, point the toes back, zip it up, lift into cobra. Drag through, try to get the longest neck you have here, folding those shoulder blades back, breathing deeply into the ribs. Try to expand the ribs side to side. Breathing cobra. 3 more deep breaths. Keep zipping up that cobra tail. 2. Some of you will be able to interlace your fingers behind you, rest, and bring your right cheek down, letting the elbows drop, letting the legs relax now. So the hands are interlaced behind you. You've got your left or right cheek down, whichever one. And you're just noticing what it feels like in the body to have this position, this deep neck turn. Back to cobra, taking your hands underneath the shoulders or a little back, depending again on your alignment. This time we're going to curl our toes under. We're going to really glue those legs together. Inhale, squeeze the inner thighs together. Trying to pull those toes towards your face, the heels away. Start to lift the heart and try to drag yourself forward, breathing deeply into the ribs. Some of you may feel like you want to go all the way to upward facing dog here. If it feels okay on your back, you choose.
keep lifting, taking your sits bones to the back, your pubic bone to the floor, but making that corner turn, lifting the ribs. 3 more deep breaths. Or you're in cobra. And beautiful. Release. Take your hands behind your back. Other cheek down. Use the exhales to release any tension. Two more deep breaths. Beautiful. Taking your hands underneath your shoulders, press yourself back. We're going to take a little pause here, come to sitting down on your bottom, and we're going to take our 2 blocks, and we're going to make a little bit of a shelf, however you want to do that. And we're going to take our candle. So if you brought a candle to class today, then you'll have it. If you don't, you have your imagination, okay? So we're in easy cross-legged pose. Put the other leg in front than what you typically do. And take your candle. We're going to light it. And if you've already lit yours, then just take your your candle on your blocks. So you want to be able to see that candle flame. This is a really nice way to practice meditating if you're new. Okay? Sitting up nice and tall, I want you to gaze down at the candle flame. I'm going to set the timer here for 2 minutes. And all you're going to do is practice thinking about nothing. Okay? You're not thinking. Thinking is an addiction like anything else. We get so caught up in negative patterns of our thinking or in anxious or worried patterns of thinking. And so meditation gives us a respite from that chatter. So I want us to practice that. So here we go, just looking at the candle flame. All you're doing is thinking about the dance of the flame. Begin. Now gently close your eyes. Close your eyes. And see that same candle flame flickering right behind your belly button, that inner light inside of you. Imagine that candle flame inside of you flickering and dancing. And you're just going to watch it 1 minute here. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. So that's a nice thing to practice if you're learning how to meditate, or if you find that you have a very chattery mind. How do you watch the candle flame? It's called candle gazing. And how do you turn that candle flame inside of you so when you're meditating, you're looking inward? Please move your candle out of your way, somewhere safe where you're not going to bump it. And we're starting to close up now, but we're going to hit dolphin one more time. We did it the other day, but we're going to do it here. So coming back into your hands and knees, go ahead and bring your elbows down. Again, you can bring the palms to touch or the palms on the mat. You choose. Think about that candle again, that candle flickering inside of you. We're opening up the skeleton. We're opening up the breath so that your true light can be full. Take yourself up to that dolphin pose. Really pressing into the thumb side of the hand. Letting your head drop, drop, drop. Let's bring our feet together, really squeezing those legs together, keeping it very dynamic here, squeezing lower half, but letting the top half really hang. You've got 2 more breaths. Keep watching that candle flickering inside. And gently, gently, gently coming down and pause. We're going to go to one more wash away downward dog. We're going to double check here that as we're pressing into the hands, into downward dog, we're going to roll the upper arm towards the mat inward, right? And we're going to move the bottom of the arm outward, and then we're going to plug in the thumb. So I'll talk you through that. Come back into hands and knees, pushing the thumb down, rolling the biceps behind you, called scrubbing those muscles, really finding the integrity of the muscles to hold those bones, pressing. Here we go. Big inhale. Turn those biceps towards your feet. Let's see if that gives you any more release. Bring your big toes together. Bend the knees if you need to. Squeeze those legs together. You could almost imagine that you're popping right up into a handstand. Anybody who wants to, feel free here. Really nice and long body. Breathing deeply into the ribs, deeply into the back. Biceps rolling near the ears to the legs behind you. 3 more deep breaths. And very nice. Gently, gently, gently come on back and pause. If you're okay sitting on your ankles, sit on your ankles. If you prefer to sit on your bottom, sit on your bottom. And we're just going to roll our head side to side. Shoulders are down, and we're just going to turn left to right, left and right. Keep doing it. Left and right. About 6 more. Shoulders are relaxed. 2. Beautiful. Interlace your fingers behind you. Some of you can bring your heels of the hands together, and we're going to place them on the right hips, folding that right elbow back, and drop the right ear to the shoulder. Deep breaths. Breathe into those lungs equally. Breathe deeply into those ribs. If your eyes are closed, see that flickering flame. 2. Beautiful. We're going to go to rabbit pose. We'll come back to this pose in just a minute. Come back into hands and knees. Bring the very tip top of the head to the floor. And just see what it feels like to smush the top of your head to the floor. Very bad. So there's no crinkles in the neck. If you were to do a somersault, some of you can work a little deeper. You can take your yoga mudra hands and reach to the ceiling, keeping the neck nice and long. Shoulders are away from the ears. We want the neck to stay nice and long. If you're crunching in the neck, you could hurt yourself. So double check that you're pulling those shoulders up and away from those ears. Long, long, long neck. Very nice. Taking your hands down, press yourself up, and sitting back on your bottom or on your ankles. And let's do the other side. Interlace your fingers behind you. Again, heels to the hands together if you're working deeper, head sitting on top, and fold the arms over to the left. And left ear to left shoulder. How are you? How's that breath moving? See if you can comb those breaths with that, or comb those muscles with that big breath. 3 more. 2. Beautiful. And slowly release. We're going to go back to our rabbit pose again, taking hands and knees. The very top of your head, remember, is if we put our heels of our hands on the ears and we bring our middle fingers together, that's considered the top. So that's the point that we want to be bringing down. If we were to go into a headstand today, that's where we would be standing. Now pull those shoulders up and out of the ear. We want no wrinkles in the neck. Again, some of you can take your hands to the sky and really find a nice big rabbit pose here. If that doesn't feel safe, go ahead and keep your hands here. You could play with lifting the head and putting it down, just getting used to having some head, your head on the mat and what it feels like. Three more breaths. Two. And coming back up, and we're going to sit in our Vajrasana, or again on our bottom, and take 5 breaths. Spread those ribs on your breath. See that little flickering candle, and drag the top of your mouth, the roof of your mouth, to the sky as the tailbone drops like a heavy anchor on a boat. 3 more deep breaths. Beautiful. All right, come to sit on your bottom or any position that's comfortable, and let's just stretch out what we've done just a bit. So sitting up nice and tall, as always, we want to be leaning back a little bit. We're going to slide our right hand underneath our bottom, palm facing up. So sliding that right hand under your bottom, palm facing up, and we're going to look to the left, dropping the chin towards the collarbone and taking your left arm up and holding. So feeling that nice big anchor there. If you'd rather massage it out, feel free to do that. We have a nice, long, tall spine here, but we are opening up that neck, dropping this heavy head so we can get some movement in these tight shoulders, tight necks. We worked them hard today. Beautiful. When you're ready, push that head back up on top, come back to neutral, move that arm away and just stir it up. Just circle it out. And we'll switch. Please take your left hand underneath your bottom. You're sitting up nice and tall. Look to the right and drop that chin again. Using the right arm this time. Breathe. Spread those ribs on the inhale and hug on the exhale. So you're moving the ribs near the armpits all the way down to the base of the ribs. The whole rib cages are moving away from one another. Again, if you'd rather use your right hand to massage your neck and your shoulder, feel free to do so. Just encouraging a release here. Sometimes putting a little heat, hot water bottle there, or some of us a heating pad. Just really stretching it out. 2 more deep breaths. Good. Hand underneath the forehead again and coming on up and release both arms and then stir it up. So for later, I love taking 2 tennis balls inside a sock. You got 2 tennis balls, and a really nice thing to do is a little space in the tennis balls. You could put top or base of your neck and do some movements here, like in a bridge pose where you're using those tennis balls into those spots, which is hard to get to. This is very nice if you want to play later. I do recommend that. If you don't have a foam roller or a special tool, you can use that. Okay. All right, we're going to come to our backs again, and this time we're going to have a block, and we're going to go right back to our bridge, sliding your hips underneath sliding the block underneath your hips, and taking your arms whatever position you want to, keeping the natural curve of your neck, and we'll take our knees to the chest and heels to the sky, just taking some time to let the blood drain out as we get a nice little adjustment on that neck and shoulders. So just play there. You could do scissor kicks. You could do another bicycle ride. Just letting the weight of your body get those shoulders down, nice long neck, arms over the head or out to the sides. Just moving. Sometimes it's nice to turn the body a little bit and really grind down on that right side or grind down on that left. You've got another minute or so here. We just don't want to turn our heads once we're here. Breathe, spread those ribs. Breathe into the backside. 3 more deep breaths. And gently bringing your feet to the floor. And maybe picking your hips up, getting that block out of your way. And rolling all the way down, 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 bringing your hips to the floor. Once you're down, just gently roll the head side to side. Some of you may want to go up to bridge one more time, interlacing the fingers underneath your back, really finding that yoga mudra action again. Some of you may feel like you are complete. So taking your time now, we're going to start to shift ourselves into our final, most important pose, which is that final Shavasana. So make your way there now, please. Sometimes we feel like this is a waste of time, this last pose, but this is where the body really soaks in the lesson. So it's important to have this time. So finding your way there now, slowing yourself down, and we'll gently close our eyes. Closing your eyes. See if you can turn on that candle flickering flame. Watch it flicker inside of you. Keeping your light on. This is the glow in your skin, the glow in your eyes. Letting your body melt. The head is heavy, the shoulders are heavy, the arms, the hips. I'm going to watch the time, and you can take this time to really allow yourself, like butter in the skillet, just to really truly spread out. Heavy on the heels, heavy on the arms, the head, the hips. Letting go now. Letting go. Letting go and enjoy. Bringing your attention back to this light inside of you. This glow inside. Keeping that light on. If you're ready to roll out, roll out. If you're happy being where you are, stay where you are. And when you're ready, pushing yourself up. If you want to stay where you are, stay where you are. Position here. And we'll bring our palms to touch, thumbs against the heart. And as always, may we sit in a spirit of gratitude. Not just when things are easy, not just when things are going our way, but also when things are really hard, when things are really challenging, scratchier lessons too. They show us who we are. Who are you? Who are you right now? All right. Have a wonderful day. The good in me bows to the good in each and every single one of you. Deep, deep bows. Namaste. If you guys want to chat, stay in chat. Everyone else, see you later.